Okay, Janet. So tell us, why did you want to be a therapist?
I never did want to be a therapist. When I started doing the hypnosis sessions with Maya, I just found they work so good that I wanted to learn. But the reason I wanted to learn, I was not sure, but one of the reasons, a lot of people come to me with their problems, and I like to have a place to steer them. Like I'm like and I find this works so well because you're not being programmed. You're not, it's you with you. And so that's why I decided to take the course, to be able to tell them I did it. Plus I've taken the course and it's safe and it works.
Okay, and just randomly picking one.
Yep.
Is this your belief, Janet?
Pardon?
Is this your belief?
Look at that. See, isn't that so weird? We don't even know what the question is. And she's like, I'm having.
But it didn't even make sense.
I was going to find an answer.
It's good though.
I'll find an answer somehow.
Exactly. That's all we're proving right now is like, oh yeah, that's weird. I don't know why that worked, but it did. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So ask it again.
Okay, so is this your belief, Janet?
Yes. That you mean?
Okay, and who benefits from this belief?
Everybody who comes to me asking me for help, because I can direct.
And what exactly do you want from being able to help everybody?
Good question.
I just love everybody to get what I'm getting from this. Everybody needs help. And if I can steer somebody in the right direction, I'm happy.
And how will you finally know? Sorry, just lost my space. How will you finally know when you're achieving this? Sorry, I can't read that.
I hope the question doesn't stop there.
Okay, how will you finally know when you're achieving this, Janet?
Just check it out, everybody. It's so cool. Like, look at all that subconscious action right there. I don't even know what's going on. All I know is that everybody is in their subconscious. That's all I want. Like, look at that. Look at the change in her mood. That's, by the way, guys, that's therapy. It's really interesting.
Well, I already see that I'm already sending people to this therapy.
Okay, so if you're already seeing this as therapy, where would you use this? Like, where are you seeing that this is therapy?
Say it again. I went into two different places here.
Okay, so where would you use this? Where would you use this as therapy? Because you said everybody that you're seeing is benefiting from this skill that you have. So where would you use this?
I'm only suggesting this. I'm not being the therapist, right? I'm sending them to Maya. Okay. I'm not.
Oh, that's okay. It's not a judgment. I'm just asking.
No. People come to me with their problems on the street. They talk to me wherever, grocery store, people always, and sometimes I like a place to suggest or tell them what I'm doing, because they ask me what's happening with me because I'm doing so well.
Okay, but if you're
stopping the question.
Oh, I wouldn't say this, and it's not so much on the list. I don't know if I could say it.
What's that?
I said, I want to ask the next question, but I don't know if it's on the list. Is it okay if I say it, Maya?
Let's hear it.
Okay. So if you see that other people are benefiting from this and you've been in the training, so what's stopping you from helping these people instead of sending them to Maya?
Nice one, Laura. See, she snuck it in there. And it was totally, you weren't ready for it. You didn't know you were coming for therapy, but there it is. There's no getting out of it. Good one, Laura.
What a week this is.
Good.
It's the hammer
Maya
of
now.
Thor.
Okay, ask it again.
Okay, so you were saying that you like doing this because you like helping people, and people are always coming to you with problems, and that you always kind of wanted to study this, and that you use it around town. There's always people asking you. And then when I asked you how that was going, you said that you don't actually use this with other people because you send it to Maya. But then I asked you, what is stopping you from actually using this, because you have received this training too.
See, you got her.
Fuck. Hey, I'm getting emotional. I just feel that it's just my confidence, and I feel that I'm not healed enough to be able to help.
But you just said to me that people are always coming to you with problems. So why would you think that you are incapable if they are by nature coming to you asking something? They're already giving you that vote of confidence.
And let me ask you a question right here, Laura. When she says to me, I'm not healed enough, what category is that? What category?
That's a belief. That's like, yeah, that's why I just stepped over it, like whatever. And I just kept going.
Get more specific. It's a belief, and also which frame are we in? Remember the cycle, the question cycles? Which one is this? Very obviously.
Yeah, I have to look back at my list.
Okay. And everyone, I'll give you the list at the end of the day today.
It's confusion because she's not in clarity.
Yeah, it's confusion, but
And
also
it's a judgment, it's not acceptance.
boom, that's the one I was looking for. Is it's a very strong judgment against herself. So
Yeah.
I know when I hear her say that before we get to act her, we're going to have to do something with why is she in judgment instead of in acceptance. So
And who told you? Yeah.
exactly.
Who told?
Go ahead. You got it.
Who told you that you're not healed enough?
Mm-hmm.
And how are you going to know when is enough?
Okay, good. So like jokes aside, everyone, look at her. We're not doing therapy. We're not solving a problem. We didn't say what's the problem. Take your time, Jana, and you only have to go with it where you want to go. We're not going to push it any further than you want to. So take your time.
The only thing that's coming up is being told by a teacher that I was never going to amount to anything.
What is that, Laura?
Well, it's a clear judgment.
And just therapy speech.
And it's kind of a belief.
Yeah, and more obviously, it's a regression.
Mm-hmm.
Here we have been in it for 10 minutes. We started with a bunch of math questions. We didn't do any therapy. And spontaneously now, she's telling us this is a piece of the past that's stopping me from my best self. I mean, we hardly did anything really. I didn't set her up for a regression. I didn't take her into the past. You didn't. So like, how is it possible to get to this depth? Like, that's the magic of Mac for me. It's like, why does it work that well? I don't know. And so now how do you want to follow up to that admission that she made? Okay, a teacher told me this. Now look at your sheet. Look under the who category.
Look under the who category.
Just as a tip about these ones about beliefs other people have given us is usually the who category.
Well, yes, I get the who one is like, who made the decision about this, but I would be more wanting to know who is this person and why should you listen to them?
Okay, fair. So go ahead.
Because maybe this person is kind of unqualified to make this judgment of her.
Okay, but keep it simple, less words. So
Okay.
whose belief is that?
Uh-huh.
Who made you believe that?
Well, it was a teacher.
Mm-hmm. Who is it harmful for?
Well, for me. Who was it harmful for?
Yeah. I think you gave a good answer. It's harmful for you, and it was back then, and it is now too. Is that right?
It was what?
It was harmful back then, and it is now as well. Is that true?
Like I know better now. It's just the feeling.
Yeah. Oh, the feeling. What does that tell you, Laura? When you hear, oh, I have a.
Okay, then I could say then where is it that you feel this feeling, or
What is that in terms of our tool belt?
well, this goes to the ETM, right? The feeling.
Just check it out. Everyone pay really close attention here. 12 minutes of conversation, 5 MAC questions, 1 ACT question, 1 regression, 1 ETM. So we've already covered 2 months of regular therapy in 12 minutes. I just want everyone to really like realize how incredibly speedy that is and powerful. Sorry, Laura, I keep interrupting.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Because I just want to ask you, Janet, is this really how it is for you in your experience of life? When you think of yourself from your childhood to now, do you really, is this what you experience about yourself? Are you really not healed enough?
Excellent. Look at her.
I guess I am.
See, look at what you just did.
Yes, you are, Janet. I guess you are.
And now ratify it for her. Are you sure about that?
Okay. Are you sure about this, Janet?
So remember, ratifier is like more support, more rapport, more encouragement, more motivation.
I'm
Okay.
60% there.
So how will you know when you are 100% there?
Good question.
I'll be working at it. I'll be doing it.
And how will you feel when you're working at it, when you're doing it?
It's gonna feel it's gonna feel wonderful. I can see it. Not in a therapy context like this, but maybe helping people in their businesses and stuff.
So where would you where would you benefit the most from seeing it in a business sense?
In a what?
In a business sense, because you said that you do not see this in a therapy sense.
for my,
that you, yes.
for me, not that it doesn't, it's just,
Uh-huh.
I'm so familiar with business and staff, and I could help people with their staff with this.
Motivate her more towards that, because she's telling you, I'm ready to do that. I want it. So now heighten motivation.
How else will this improve your life when you are actively doing this in your business life?
It's business is what I love to do, and dealing, like, to be able to help them with their staff is like, it'd be the ultimate for me, because when I was in business, I would have liked that help.
Nice.
Okay,
And
so tell me more
I
about
want
this.
to be what I would have liked, actually. That's pretty cool.
So tell me more about this, what you would have liked.
Perfect.
And how.
Excellent question.
I just feel that with staff, it's never about the job or it's not often, like, I just my experience. And if I would have had somebody that could come in and do hypnosis on everybody with their consent, that it would have helped a lot on how they get along. The staff, like, they didn't understand each other. I had all generations, and I think that this would help a lot to help people work better together, instead of getting angry at what's going on. I'm having a hard time to explain myself. I see it, but I can't get it out.
Yes, I hear you. I hear you. And this makes me want to go back to something that you said, because right now you're saying that this experience, the feeling of this and how you would have liked it to be better. And also you were mentioning in the past that you did not feel like you were prepared. So I'm trying to understand, why is it that you feel that you're not prepared enough, when at the same time you're pretty aware of how somebody could have helped you in the past?
So that was an excellent question, from confusion to clarity. She said, look, Laura said, look, Janet, you sound confused about it, but actually you're pretty clear, right?
Yeah. I think it's the way business is done today is kind of like on computers, and I guess to launch it, I don't know. Yeah.
So when will you know that it's the time to launch it, or when will you know?
I guess it's now. There's never a good time. You just got to do it.
Do you know that because of your business experience? See, that's a ratifier. Because see, I'm asking a question, but I'm ratifying what she already told me. Will you know because you have that experience under your belt and you can trust it?
Yeah.
So what are your strengths? What are your strengths that you can bring out to help you to be able to do this, and to be able to trust yourself to do this?
Well, I have experience.
Yep.
And I had 45 to 50 employees all the time, 30 years. And I know what goes on. I know what's in their heads. I know why sometimes it doesn't work out. Like between employees, why they fight, why I know. But I needed the right tools to be able to help resolve it, or help them resolve.
So Laura, do a very basic ratifying of her experience, and the goal is to heighten her motivation. So just think of the easiest way to ratify what she just said. She said, I've been in business X, forever. I've seen millions of people. So just ask a really basic ratifying question. How many?
Oh, but it's because my mind wants to jump back to another contradiction.
Well, that's fine. So you do it in 1 second. But what I would do right now is the most basic ratifying possible, which is how many years have you been in business?
So how many years have you been in business, Janet?
Well, I was in business 30, but I've been out of it for a couple of years.
So you see, she now gets the opportunity to say out loud, I have 30 years, longer than you've been, basically on earth. I mean, not quite, but I've had a lot of experience. And so now we're going from judgment to acceptance without even doing anything.
Uh-huh.
How does it feel to have 30 years of experience in something like this? Yeah.
It feels awesome. I know, like, it's like I have an expertise in that.
Yeah, you speak the language of business, is that right?
Yeah.
Do you know a lot of people who have that kind of 30-year language in their tool belt?
No?
See, do you see how we're just like building motivation? She's getting more and more clarity about how qualified she is. I haven't solved the problem. I haven't approached a problem. Haven't asked her if she has a problem. Sorry, continue, Laura.
No, that's okay.
Excellent.
I didn't even give a problem.
Yeah, it's great, right? And that's the point of the demo, by the way, is just to prove to you that all roads lead to Rome, and I mean all roads. And you see how with somebody like Janet, if I did ask her if she had a problem, I don't think she would have volunteered. I don't think she would have even said, I'm not ready to be in business or whatever. But the fact that we macked it instead of did anything else made it so chill and so low key that it was easy to just come right out with it.
Wow.
That's the Mac. Et voila, everybody. Now we see the beauty of the Mac.
Wow.
Cool, right?
Wow, you knew what you were doing.
Thank you. And I mean, also check out the speed. Like we started this demo at 5:39, or 5:38, it's now 5:48. So it's like barely 10 minutes. And you've already
Laura.
Huh?
Good job, Laura.
Yeah, right.
Following the list.
Jim says Janet was Mac attacked.
Was I
So
ever?
Janet,
Okay, continue, Laura. I'll give it a few more minutes.
are you really ready for this?
Nice, excellent question. Good. So now you're moving to a really ultimate level of motivation.
I don't know how really ready looks like or feels like right now, but I know I'm readier than I was 4 hours ago or an hour ago. This feels good.
Nice.
So can I ask her about how this feels good?
Of course, yeah. Go for it.
Okay, so Janet, tell us more about this. How does this feel good? Tell me about this.
Oh, it just helped me see myself,
Clarity. Clarity feels good, Janet.
Where do you have the good feeling?
Well, it's in my heart. I'm all tingly,
There you go. That's trance.
all full of happiness.
There you go. Yeah. What is that
Okay,
happiness trying to tell you?
That I can do it.
And tell us, Janet, is this really what you want to do it? Is this really what you want?
Good question.
Consulting is something I wanted to do. I've been wanting to do for a long time. But I want to use this hypnosis where I'm comfortable. And I love business. I miss it. I've been retired for 2 years and I miss it.
So
Try-
tell us again, are you really ready for this, Janet?
I was at 60 there. Now I'm up to 85. But I think it's just because it's summer and I want to enjoy it in the next month or two and then get into
When people give me numbers, I always try to pin them down because numbers are so easy to work with, right? So if she tells me I'm at 85, I'm going to just ask her straight up, what's going to take you the rest of the 15? Just because she's giving me the opportunity, right? Not because I'm
Okay.
not exactly Mac or anything. I just want to take an opportunity that the client gives me always.
Okay, Janet. So what's going to take you this other 15% to get to 100?
there's a few parts of it that I'm not comfortable with that I got to find the proper help with, and then I know I can start. Just things that I'm not very like like somebody assisting with the stuff that I don't like to do. I need to find that first. I feel I do. Find the right person to work with.
What do
And-
you think, Laura, about when she says that? What is your thought?
Okay, this sounds like a belief in an excuse. Am I right? Yeah. And let me, my screen just turned off. Okay. Where is this not acceptable for you? Where is this feeling that you feel like that you need help? Tell us more about that. Why is this not
Well,
acceptable for you? Just to do it yourself?
Just hearing that question, I'm listening to it, and I can do it myself.
Nice one. Good one, Laura.
Like
And a part of me was
just hearing it was like, oh, you can do this.
perfect.
So tell us, Janet, then when is the best time to fix this? That 15%. If this is not acceptable, then tell us about that. When is the best time to fix this?
Well, right now.
And why?
Because it's time.
Okay, so why is this so important now for it to be time now?
Good.
Because my whole being is telling me to get back into business. But something lower key.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about that lower key. What does it feel like? What is this lower key that
Just
you're feeling?
no stress.
Mm-hmm.
No major stress. It was so stressful what I did. And I want the business side. I want to do, but as a consultant, I can only take a few cases a year if I want. I can do it when I want. I can schedule it. Well, when they accept you, you got to go by their schedule, but I don't have to do as much. And with the amount of with this tool plus my experience, I can charge enough not to need to do it all the time.
Okay, so can you tell us more about how this will affect you positively by being able to charge more, less stress, getting yourself back into business?
Just
How would this affect you positively? Tell us more about that.
well, I just feel like I've been in a, you know, like in a slump. Like I feel like I need to do what I'm good at. I feel it's time for me to do what I'm good at. And it's all going to align if I'm doing what I'm good at.
So,
And I was trying to, what's that?
no, answer the rest if you want.
I can't remember what I was going to say.
I mean,
You were saying that it's all gonna align, that you're doing what you do the best, and that it's time, and that you're just feeling that this is what you really want to do. So
I
tell
want
us
it
more
for
about
me.
that.
I want to do it for me. I want to do something that brings me joy. And that does.
I mean, I wanted to stop you both right there because we were just experimenting with the list, and the next thing you know, Janet found her destiny. So, like, that's much more than I could have ever dreamed of in that short demo. So, Laura, just notice what you were able to do in 30 minutes of having no plan, no training in this, no idea. I mean, you have training in ACH, but no training in the ratifiers and the MACH. And Janet, how does it feel now when you were the client and you didn't get asked about a problem? How did that feel to you?
I loved it because it just directed where it was supposed to go for me.
Yeah, exactly. Felt very easy, right? Natural,
Yeah.
kind of casual.
Yeah. I wasn't nervous.
Yep.
I got emotional, but
Yep. Did
that
you
goes with it.
did you expect to have that moment of regression?
No,
Yeah. Was
no,
that
that wasn't even on my mind.
exactly?
That
That's all. Did an amazing good job, and that's the whole thing of it is we're still attached to our skill and we're still attached to doing something, but you just saw, I mean, if that wasn't the best possible proof that it's nothing about us or our questions or our approach or anything, it's right there in the field, and all we do is let the field open so that the person can express what's inside of their heart, and that's it. And I'm not saying you can't get great at it, and I'm not saying you can't practice, and I'm not saying that it's not, a wonderful skill, but I'm also saying it's just part of human nature. That if somebody comes at you with that motivational, warm approach, that is going to help you to move. Did it surprise you how effective it was? Laura? Yeah, Janet? Yeah, you too. I'm asking you too. All right, or Brooke or Donna.
I felt like I was kind of in a hurry trying to stick with her and to randomly select a question.
Yep.
Because I was trying to just randomly pick one, not give it too much thought, and then try to fit it into the context that she just spit it out. So it kind of made me feel like rushed to, but yeah, you could just go like blah, 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 and pick one and then fit it in somehow.
the questions are relevant. Like, it's true. If you look at it randomly and just throw something out, it becomes relevant. It becomes a good question, but it's just pulled out of it. It's amazing.
And so the reason for that, right, is what? How could that possibly work?
I think as a therapist, it should take away the pressure, the pain of the situation, because I'm just the delivery device.
Well, yeah. And another way of saying that is the client's subconscious is all that matters. And it's going to do its thing, whether you create ease for it or whether know
Clunking around in my clogs.
If you can do it the fastest and easiest way, that's the nicest, and you can charge the highest price for it, but also it will do it anyway. If you can just rely on that, you're in business. I'll rephrase it. When you can just rely on that, you're in business.
Wow, this is cool.
It is.
Or in other words, we can all just rely on it, dudes, and we're all in business.
I mean, that's all I want you to know from my heart is everyone wants to know, how did I do it? I don't exactly know. Like, I put a lot of different ingredients in, but the main ingredient I put in is 100,000,000% belief that my clients will figure it out in their own way, on their own time. And Janet just proved that. So if you can like detach yourself and stop bringing all of your self-criticism and all of your ego and all of your anger and all of your failures and all the shit that's happened to you, and just believe that the person is there because they chose to be there, because they chose something, and everything else will follow. There's no way for my reviews and my feedback to be as good as it is because of me. Like, that's an important piece of my study, of my business to study. It's not me. If it was me, then there would be somewhere in there that said like, that sucked, or it was too slow, or I didn't like it. They're all reflecting themselves. Everyone's reflecting their own beauty. That's why it comes out so good. That's the beauty of MACH, is it really takes you to an even further level of detachment from your skill set and your outcome. So what I want you to do for homework,
Wow.
you know, yeah, it's super wow, is don't do any homework. I'm not a big proponent of homework. I would like you to read the question list now that you have it. So read it through this list, maybe 1, 2, 3 times. Just read the list. That's all I want you to do to prepare for tomorrow. And also, when you show up tomorrow morning, I would like you to bring with you one very toxic item from your home and one very healthy item from your home. So a very toxic item would be like detergent or cleaner or, you know, paint or something totally crappy. And then something that is good for you, like Power Shake or a kombucha or a glass of water or something like that. Your favorite shirt, whatever. I'm just going to do a tiny little practicum in the morning, just about how I make decisions, like how I decide on questions, how I decide on directions. So I'll show you that using those 2 items. You might already know how to do it. If you do, that's cool. Then we'll do another demo exactly like we did today, this one. And then later in the day, we're going to put the whole meal deal together and combine AC and MAC together. So I'll have at least one demo of that. Maybe I can fit in 2. I love it. Look at Janet's face. She's like, that was weird.
I'm still,
I
and I want to thank Laura. Thank you very much. It was nice. I loved it. Thank you.
Me too. I loved it too. And by the way, you're very lovable.
Yes.
I think
You all are. You're all very lovable.
Thank you, Maya.
My pleasure, always. I'm trying my best to give you a Friday night off right now, so I'm gonna say that we're done for today, but if anyone has a question, you can stay and ask it, or you can save it for tomorrow. So thank you everyone for participating today. Thanks for coming. If anyone has any questions, go ahead and ask me now or drop it in the chat. And the homework is to read over the question list 1, 2, 3 times. At least just get oriented with like where the questions are on the paper. And then bring your 2 little items with you.
okay.
Anyone have a question? Follow up on Janet, follow up on Mac, follow up on the difference between AC and MAC. Does it seem like you have more choices now?
Yeah, because I feel like MAC now I see it in 2 phases. Like I see it in motivation, but you have to find out by their answers, like where are they falling into those, I don't remember if it's 5 or 6 categories. And then you decide, am I going to motivate this or am I just going to stare and use the queen of silence?
And that, by the way, what you just summarized is what Erickson's, the people who reported about him said made him lightning fast. Because literally he had 5 and 10-minute sessions. And so how can you have a 5-minute session and solve a huge life problem? The only way is if you hear the answer and you're completely accurate about assessing it. So that's what we're training in this weekend, is just like getting accurate in that assessment. That's it.
Let me just say, this blows my mind because this just boiled it down into a very concise way of explaining it, Maya. Because I think, especially as we've been in this studies for a while, it's like very vague, and you were able to distill it into something very logical and very easy to digest.
I really appreciate that. After all this education, I'm glad I can do something.
It's true, I'm telling you.
Well, and let me just end on this note by saying, like, you know, I have a billion degrees, I have a billion careers going, I got all this shit that, you know, to prove myself. But at the end of the day, this is what I love about my practice right now, is that it's just a few principles, just a few. And if all you do is just go with the principles and don't iterate and don't create something new and don't invent on top of it, and just go with a few principles, literally like 2 of them, all these people's lives are changed. If you can motivate someone enough in a genuine enough way, you can change their life on the spot.
Well, you guys did it to me last time.
And you're going to do it again tomorrow. But I mean, that to me is like the mind-blowing piece of this, is if you just do it at a high enough pitch and with enough ballast and enough conviction, you literally change their life in the one opportunity you have to meet with them. And then they subscribe to your view for life. Then when they come for their follow-up, they're already done. They're therapized. It's all done. Next time you offer a workshop, it's sold. It's already all done. Just a few principles. It's so simple. It's so simple, it's frustratingly simple.
But it's distilled again. Because you did this.
That's right. And it can be a model for your whole life. Just go to principles and let that be the simplest way to do things.